Right. Welcome to another electrifying edition of Blockchain World, where we unpack the future of decentralized innovation. Today, we are diving deep into applications of blockchain technology, uh, exploring how from finance and healthcare to supply chains, voting systems, and beyond, the powering real-world solutions with unbreakable security and transparency. My name is Coach Grathel, and I am honored to bring up Ibrahim Umar Wasi as my co-host. Mr. Ibrahim, welcome to the show this evening.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tochukwurafel. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, everyone.
All right. This show, we are joined by our regular guest, Mr. Moses Obaje. He's not right away here, but we're expecting him to join us. And Miss is Shifra Poloma, Digital Mama. You're welcome to the program, ma'am.
Thank you for having us this evening once again.
All right. Before we go into what we have today, could you give us an overview of what blockchain is? What we did in our last discussion.
In our last episode, we were able to take our viewers through what blockchain is, and we said it's a public ledger. It's a transparent, public verifiable transactions that are cryptographic, that have cryptographic protection, and they are decentralized because there's no central authority, and it is as well immutable. And then it has speed and transparency, and the cost of transaction on a blockchain, especially cryptocurrency, is less than what you have in the traditional system of exchange. And we're able to take our listeners and our viewers through what cryptocurrency is and its benefits also. The cryptocurrency gives financial inclusion to anyone that comes on board. It gives access to financial services for the unbanked. And then it is borderless, meaning you can transact with whoever, wherever in the world, and it gets across to that person almost within seconds or minutes. So it allows for global transaction without the hitches that we experience in the traditional system. And like I said earlier, the transaction fees are very low. And then it has user control because you control your finances. There's no cap. You can send as much as you want to, whoever, wherever, anywhere. And then these transactions are anonymous. You are only identified by your wallet address. So, and it is recorded on the ledger, and as such, it is verifiable at any point in time. Nothing can change any transaction that has occurred and has been verified on the blockchain. Thank you.
All right, let's welcome Mr. Moses Obaje. Mr. Moses, can you hear me? Please turn your video on. Mr. Moses Obaje.
Yes, I've been battling with network.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Confirm if you can hear me.
I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. Digital Mama has just given an overview of the blockchain. We keep on talking about it over and over again, but for the sake of new persons who might have joined us today, could you give us your own perspective of what blockchain is? And then tell us the applications of this relatively new technology across board.
All right, thank you, Mr. Tochukwu. Let me see if my video can come up. I think it's fair.
All right,
Can
we
you
see
see
you now.
me?
You can speak on.
All
Very
right. Thank
clear.
you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Tuchukwu. All right. Good evening to our listeners. Like what Digital Mama has just mentioned, when we talk about a blockchain, it's more of a distributed database that maintains a continuously growing list of ordered records called blocks. And then these blocks are linked together using the technology called cryptography. So, like she rightly said, it is a decentralized, which means nobody can control it. It is distributed uh, to the public. Everybody can view it at any point in time. And then it runs across so many nodes, which are called computers. So, and that means when anything is recorded on the blockchain, it cannot be altered retroactively without alteration of all subsequent blocks and the consensus of the network. So if you feel okay, you can alter what is in my on my node, which is my computer, you cannot alter what is on your computer at the same time. No, it's not possible with blockchain. So it's an advanced database mechanisms that allows for transparent information sharing within a business network. All right. So they are, like I said, they are connected or linked together in chains. And so you cannot delete or modify the chain without any consensus. So it is used most at times for tracking orders, payments, accounts, and other transactions. And the system has a built-in mechanism that prevents unauthorized transaction entries and also creates consistency in the shared views of these transactions. So and also, it differs from the traditional databases uh, we have that are used in managing assets. All right, because the traditional database technologies present several challenges for recording financial transactions. All right, I think I usually make this example because, for instance, you consider a sale of property. Once the money is exchanged, ownership of the property is transferred to the buyer. So both buyer and seller can record the monetary transactions. But the truth of the matter is that none of these sources can be trusted. The seller can easily claim they have not received the money, even though they have received the money, and buyer can equally argue that they have paid the money even while they have not yet paid the money. So to avoid potential legal issues, a trusted third party has to supervise and validate transactions. And the presence of this central authority not only complicates the transaction, but also creates a single point of vulnerability. Because if the database is compromised, both parties could suffer. If the person who is to confirm these transactions be on one side, there's a challenge. And that's why technology has brought in blockchain that stands as a means of trustworthiness, whereby it mitigates such issues by creating a decentralized, tamper-proof system to record transactions. So because of the properties of blockchain that is cryptographically encrypted, these properties have led to its use in various sectors, including the creation of digital assets that we all know today as cryptocurrencies, or maybe examples like Bitcoin. So you made mention of please, your second question, you made mention of, I think, you
What
said
are
the
the
application.
three, okay, some of the three main real world applications of this technology?
Well, number one, the major applications and use cases of blockchain. Number one, we have cryptocurrency and digital payments, where Digital Mama talked about peer-to-peer digital currencies, maybe like Bitcoin, all right? And then these digital assets or cryptocurrencies can be used for cross-border payments. So one of the application is digital payments, and she rightly mentioned reduced transaction fees, all right, and also faster settlements, which means transactions can happen within seconds, all right. So sending money internationally without banks or intermediaries is as easy as ABCD with blockchain technology. That is one of the applications. Now, number two is smart contracts. And smart contracts are self-executing contracts with terms written into codes. All right, though it is popularized by Ethereum, but more applications are coming on board with smart contracts. In fact, I used to make an example with the hotel business or the hotel services. There are hotels that you go in, uh, and then you are given a card to access the facilities of that hotel room or the hotel facilities in general. But by the time your time for exit reaches without you renewing the services of the hotel, the smart contract is executed and you cannot use any of the services of that hotel. All right. So it causes about automation. The service of this hotel now is automatic. So also with smart contracts, it can be used in insurance claim automation. It can be used in real estate transactions. It can be used in loan approvals. That is why today you see you can go online with and apply for loans without even stepping your foot into the bank, and everything is done. When you meet the criteria, when you meet those terms that are written in codes, your loans are approved automatically without you visiting the bank. So we've talked about digital assets or cryptocurrencies. We've talked about the smart contract. What other area? What other area? Another area is decentralized finance, which technologically it is called a DeFi, where financial services are built on blockchain without traditional banks. Just like I made mention, with decentralized finance, you can partake in lending and borrowing. Okay, you can do business with decentralized exchanges. We have centralized exchanges, which you can use their platform to convert currencies or digital assets from one form of digital asset to another digital asset. And so also decentralized exchanges do not need a third party for them to execute. All right. So these are financial services that are built on blockchain without the use of traditional banks. All right. So you can borrow crypto assets without a bank approval process. It is seamless. So also there are other aspects that we will continue to talk about as we progress on this discussion. But these are some of the few I will want to mention as we progress. We add more to it. Thank you, Mr. Tuchuru.
Thank you, Mr. Moses Obaje, our AI prof. I believe you made mention of decentralized finance, DeFi. So how does decentralized finance fit into this? I mean, will you give us some real world example for people like us who are not familiar with all these technical terms?
Now, I believe we've spoken so much about some of these digital assets, all right, that do not need you to contact anybody to transact on them. Now, for instance, if you want to conduct a transaction on the Phantom wallet or Trust wallet or Jupiter, all right, there is no need. We talked about decentralization, which is one of the key functions or attributes of blockchain. All right. Now, you don't need any third party for execution. But for you, For instance, let's assume you want to take a loan from the bank. There's a certain amount that you want to take from the bank that you must have a guarantor. You must have a guarantor, right? But when we talk of decentralized finance, there is no third party involved. Blockchain is a third party because of its trustworthiness. You understand? So you can perform your transactions seamlessly without interference from anybody, without interference from the central authorities, without interference from the banks, from the government, or whatever authority that is applicable in the central system of life. But with decentralized finance, everything goes seamless. It's between you and the party you are transacting with, and blockchain as the mediator. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moses Obaje. Well explained. Now let's turn our lenses. Mrs. Shipra Puluma, now that we see where blockchain is being used, let's understand why industries are adopting it so rapidly. So how does blockchain improve transparency, Mrs. Shipra Puluma?
Blockchain improves transparency in the sense that you are the sole owner. You know, there's no, like he said, like Prof said earlier, there's no third party. You are the central, I mean, you are the authorizing authority. And that makes you the sole person that is doing that transaction without any interference from anybody. And these transactions, like we said, are trustworthy. There's trust in these transactions. Why? Because once recorded, once these transactions are verified, you understand, there's nobody that can tamper with them, because you can't tamper with a set of computers around the world that have recorded a transaction. You can't tamper with, even if you can tamper with one, you can't tamper with all. So it makes it trustworthy, and it makes it more secure as well. Why? Because when we look at the traditional setting, issues can come up. Anybody can tamper with a document, but once it is on the blockchain, it cannot be tampered with. And that brings about trust. Why? Because it gives you trust, and it makes your transactions to be seamless. Whatever you are doing is seamless at a very, very low cost. So I think that is basically where the world is going to, making transaction to become borderless, making people who are unbanked to be able to have access to whatever assets that they have. And then that absolutely makes the world to be tilting towards that. And more so with the incoming of the trending technology that we have, artificial intelligence, you know, that records whatever it is that you want in real time. So it makes it like easier for businesses, industries, and what have you, to key into blockchain because of the transparent nature. And there's it removes the interference by workers who are ordinarily in the traditional system. So I think that is why the world is tilting towards blockchain as it is
All right.
now.
All right, Digital Mama, before you go.
Yeah.
Before you go, does improving transparency mean reducing fraud or inefficiency?
Sure, it reduces fraud and inefficiency, absolutely. Because these transactions can be verified at any point in time. So it's difficult for you. For example, in the traditional, maybe when we go to the banking sector, figures can be changed and altered. But in this case, it cannot be altered. They have, you know, it can be checked. You can check a transaction that happened on the blockchain 10 years ago. You will still see it intact. The timestamp the exact time that transaction was performed, it's there, which is the timestamp and the delivery time. So definitely it makes it, I think it's very, very secure, except if you share your details, you know, especially the seed phrase and your login details with somebody. That is when, I mean, fraud can occur. And when you click on phishing sites and unsolicited messages, even on your phones, you discover that you open your data to hackers. So I believe that is just it.
All right, now let me ask this question. It is important that we are discussing the application of blockchain. Mr. Baje, are you still with us? Mr. Baje? All right.
Yes, Mr. Tochukwu, I'm here.
I can't hear you.
Okay, now the question I would like to
I
ask
didn't hear your
you,
question. Yeah.
Nigeria is in a situation where elections are, fast approaching. Political activities are fast, coming up, every day, and people are agitating for technology to be infused into our electoral system. We are talking about the beavers, or should I say, electronic transmission of results. We saw what happened yesterday. The Senate, despite passing the electronic transmission into law, they still left a caveat, a proviso, in any event of any glitch of the communication with regard to the beavers, the whole thing falls back on the primary source, which is the paper handled by the presiding officer. So this would tell you that they think, our lawmakers think, that technology is not totally absolute when it comes to perfection or competence. What do you think? How can we apply blockchain to our electoral system without having a glitch?
All right, thank you, Mr. Tochukwu. You know, Africa and Nigeria were sometimes very, very corny, all right? But one thing I know is that when we want to do things right, we will get it right. We will get it right. Because one thing I know is that as far as blockchain technology is concerned, once anything is recorded, you cannot tamper with it. And that's maybe one of the fears. You cannot tamper with it. You cannot distort it. However, yes, there might be this challenge of maybe network connectivity, where we can agree that Nigeria is not 100% covered by the telecommunication network, which can grant us access to the internet. But one thing I so much believe in is that even though we have this challenge, it will be very, very difficult now in Nigeria for you to travel the next 10, 15, 20 kilometers that you will not access network. But the fear is, okay, what happens when you are moving from one point to another? All right. One thing I believe is that if we want to make it transparent, even if there is no network, there is a consensus from all that are gathered for that same election. All right. There is a consensus. The security men are there. The party agents are there. Everybody is there. All right. Now, if you agree that this is the final result, now our challenge is network, right? Can we? Yes, we know we have security issues.
Mr. Baji, are you still there?
I don't think he's there.
I believe you have lost
Where
connection.
we can access this network and transmit
Okay.
this result.
All right.
He's back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, loud and clear.
Can you still hear me?
Yes, speak. We can hear you.
All right. Because I am from the far north, all right, where I know that technology is not so robust. But I can bet you that the telecommunication services here in the far north is still fair, which I know down south and east, it is much more better accessible. You understand? So if we can reach a consensus and say, okay, let's move to this next location so that we can transmit this data, it is very, very much possible. Rather than refusing to transmit the data entirely and say you want to use the physical papers where anything can happen, just like the teacher Mama mentioned. Once it is paper and biro, it can be altered. It can be altered. And the cost of of movement from one point of the other, which is much more a longer coverage than accessing the next point where you can get a network. Now, let's say, for instance, you are moving from a local government to the state capital to transmit before the state will now move to the headquarters to transmit. Now, look at it. If you are moving from a local government, let's assume the closest local government is taking about, let's say, 50 kilometers to the headquarters. Do you want to tell me that between that movement of 50 kilometers, there is no network in the entire place? No, now. It's not possible. As far as Nigeria is concerned today, there's no way you can travel for 50 kilometers that you don't have network. And same, if you are transmitting, if you are moving from the state headquarters to the federal capital and you say you want to carry papers, how long? You will see that in the past, they will say they are waiting for the result of social state to arrive, which means they are still on their way. And on that journey, anything can happen. But this can be done with a snap of a finger, that you can transmit results in less than a minute with blockchain. And it is secured. It is transparent. You and I can see it at any point in time, and nobody can alter it. So I don't know what are the fears you understand of our legislature, but I believe we will get it right over time as we continue to advocate for blockchain technology to take over the space. I know it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a one-time shot. Even if we don't get it right in this election that is forthcoming, soon Nigeria will get it right in elections via blockchain. We'll continue advocating for blockchain to be used until the world hears us. Thank you.
Right. What are the other? Okay, Ibrahim, you want to ask him anything?
Yes, I want to ask him a question because I'm so interested in this topic of electioneering process, election malpractice, and so on and so forth, because I think it's also essential to our country at this moment in time. Mr. Moses Obaje, you know, these politicians, they are kind of corny sometimes. No matter how much they agree to do any type of reform to the electioneering process, they will keep a loophole upon which they will explore to do their own snatch it, grab it, and run away with it. So my question is, how do you think the politicians could use that same system to change the current one we're using? And I know you talk about the system is so reliable that no one can alter it, but this person that is going to transmit the data, how are we going to be sure that he's not going to alter it from that point of transmitting? And if there's any suggestion for a way whereby my vote will just go directly to the server.
Ibrahim, it's a process.
Whether my vote, if it is
now,
possible.
You see,
Continue.
You see, Mr. Ibrahim, it's a process. That's why I said over time we will get it right. Because yes, we know that we have rural areas that do not have good network connectivity, and the level of uh, literacy in terms of this use of technology is limited. You understand, but with advocacy and with one-on-one engagements and trainings, which is one of the things that my academy is doing at the moment, all right, we can get the locals educated that they can be able to access this technology at their fingertips. You understand? So at a point in time, what you are saying is right, that somebody who is to transmit these results might tend to alter it. But that is to tell you that except those who are around him are also not knowledgeable. So knowledge is key, even as we look at this technology. All right. Even those who are to partake in the collation of these results have to be trained, have to know the technology. Where they see it going wrong, they should be able to tell, because
Or maybe,
these are figures
yes,
they are transmitting, nothing more. They are
you
figures.
know, sometimes with regards
You
to
understand? So
transmission
one
of data,
thing
let me jump in, sir. With regards to transmission of data, it's not about
about,
lack of awareness or
yeah,
lack of knowledge. It's more about compromising. Most of them are compromising the agents and so on and so forth. So I'm thinking whether there is a possibility of a system whereby my vote will just go directly to the server rather than passing through this process of someone taking it and uploading before submitting.
I'm coming to that point. I am coming to that point, Mr. Ibrahim. Yeah, that's where I was heading to before you interjected. That's why I said knowledge is very, very much paramount. And we will get to that stage because the locals might find it difficult to use this technology, all right? But we'll get to the point whereby you will sit from the comfort of your home without you going to queue to queue on the line to vote. You understand? From the comfort of your home, technology will help you that you will conduct your vote and it goes directly to the server using the blockchain technology. But like I said, there is lack of knowledge of these technologies in our rural areas, the underdeveloped areas. But why not let us get from the urban areas, make people become knowledgeable about
I think Mr. Moses Obaje is having some technical glitch from his end.
what are their uses, the use cases of the electioneering process. Having that knowledge, it cannot be 110% you use to a blockchain technology for hours. Yeah, Mr. Tochukwu, I can hear you. Can
All
you hear
right.
me?
No, your video was shaky a while ago. That's why I called you. You can speak on now. Continue where you stopped.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, like I was saying, why not let us try? It's a step-by-step journey. Okay? 10% trial. Okay, from 10%, it works. We move to 25%. We move to 50% within the urban setting. All right? And then gradually we move to the rural setting. That is to say, as far as you are knowledgeable and you can use your gadgets to conduct the election, go ahead and do it. But make sure you are trained properly to be able to do that. And once you are trained and you know the nitty-gritty, conduct it. Then, for those areas that do not have the knowledge, that are having challenges maybe with network connectivity, yes, they can go and queue. All right? They can go and queue as over time knowledge will be impacted to them on how to use these technologies. It will get to the point whereby I believe every individual in our country should have an Android or iOS device and be trained to use them to use the facilities. But it should be a gradual, must be 100% complete, just 10% test, all right? And then from there you upgrade. gradually until you get to.
All right, and what I would like to say is that you talk about e-voting, Nigeria adopting e-voting. I think that might not be possible in the centuries to come. Just
No, we cannot say that, Mr.
we are
Tochukwu. I don't believe.
we are still fighting and struggling to adopt electronic transmission. Nigeria is not practicing e-voting currently. It is being practiced in America, but not in Nigeria. What we are practicing currently is electronic transmission, and that has not even, been mainstreamed properly. Lawmakers are fighting one another to either impute that into our laws. That happened yesterday. And you have brought the issue of e-voting. That might be a Herculean task in Nigeria, given the kind of government we have. We're just hoping that it becomes possible, but for now, and in the foreseeable future, it is not possible.
Mr. Tochukwu, I do not agree that it is not possible because, see, one challenge, just like you rightly mentioned, is having good governance. Good governance. Because corruption has eaten in depth. That's why we have these challenges. But once we have good governance come into play, and it has to do with the election that is forthcoming, even though, yes, we know that it might be marred with hiccups here and there. But if Nigerians can do the right thing and then we get the right people into power, I believe it shouldn't take us decades to begin to see these things come into play, because that is where the world is tilting towards. All right?
All right. I've got what you have said. Mrs. Poloma,
should I come in?
Your background is dark now. What has happened?
I think she's battling with the network also.
I'm battling.
Okay, I would like to ask you, what are other applications of this blockchain? We have health. We have talked a lot about the body scan AI. I believe that would be a good example that you're going to give and tell us how the blockchain will be implemented or will be perfected in the body scan AI.
Okay, I think I don't know. All right. I'm sorry. I have to be changing device because the networks keep ceasing.
All right. While you do that, Mr. Moses, you can take out from there, please.
Yeah.
Come again with your question because it was breaking.
All right. The other applications of blockchain, especially in health, in education, and maybe other walks of life.
Yeah, you see, like I was saying earlier, when you talk of blockchain, it has gone to that level where it is now expanding over time. Formerly, all we knew about blockchain was cryptocurrency, right? But today it has gone beyond cryptocurrency. Now, we just talked about smart contracts, all right, when I was speaking, where there is no need, there's elimination of middleman, there is speed of efficiency because executions are automated, all right, it's a trustless system, no need to trust other parties as the system is secure and transparent, and then it ensures data integrity and security, and these transactions are immutable and encrypted. Now, there are other ways or other use cases of blockchain. It is used in the energy sector, all right? Because energy companies use blockchain technology to create peer-to-peer energy trading platforms. Now, if you go to financial systems, to finance, you find that like banks and stock exchanges use blockchain services now to manage online payments, which I made mention of, you taking loans online. All right, they can use it to manage accounts and market trading. All right. Now, when we go further, there are retail companies that use blockchain to track the movement of goods, all right, between suppliers and buyers. If you go to Amazon today, Amazon Retail has filed a patent for a distributed ledger technology system that will use blockchain technology to verify that all goods on the platform are authentic, so that they will not continue to sell fake products. All right. Now, when we come to healthcare, we've spoken laudably about body scan AI, which is an application that is being built on the blockchain, all right, that has to do with health, at the same time has to do with the blockchain technology and also artificial intelligence. Because artificial intelligence in healthcare is already changing the way humans interact with medical providers. And now, after having an interaction, all right, with the artificial intelligence, your records are secured. Your records are tamper-proof, all right? While artificial intelligence helps to identify diseases more quickly and accurately, and they speed up to streamline drug discovery and even monitor the patients, blockchain holds your data securely. That nobody can tamper with it. It is transparent, all right? In as much as nobody can see my data and say this data belongs to Mr. Moses. But once I want somebody to have access to it, that person can access my records 100 years ahead. You understand? Just like that the digital mama said, transactions that have happened in the past 17 years are still on the blockchain and are accessible. And nothing has changed about them. So it has come to change a lot of narratives. And that is why you see when we talk about body scan AI, I don't even look at just the application alone with the level of challenges we are having, even financially today. So secure your health data, and at the same time, secure your financial future. That is what body scan AI has come to solve. And that's why we will continue to preach it day in, day out. Your health is your wealth. But I used to say, no matter how healthy you are and your pockets are dry, there is still a problem. And no matter how full your pocket is and you are battling with health challenges, there is still a problem. So why not look at these two scenarios, work out your health, all right, automatically from the comfort of your home, all right, have it secured, and also work out your finances also. Because it is a currency. Part of it is money, even as much as we talk about health. So these are things that people need to consider even as they come into the space seeking for knowledge. Look for projects that can help your life in whichever way you can think of, not just seeing anything on the blockchain and you feel I can just dive into it. No, there are things that you need to sort out for as far as the space is concerned. Thank you.
That is wonderful. Time is no longer on our side. Brahim.
Yes, Mr. Tochukwu. Mr. Moses Obaje talked about where beginners should focus when they explore the blockchain application. But I'm curious about what skills are most valuable. What common misconceptions should they avoid? I think Mr. Moses Obaje should answer the question before we round up.
Well, you see, Mr. Ibrahim, I will always say knowledge is key. Knowledge is key. People are looking for shortcuts, all right? And looking for shortcuts takes you the longest route in life. It takes you the longest route in life. So one thing that people need to first focus on, where can I get knowledge? Where can I get knowledge? Not just getting knowledge, get the authentic knowledge, which Dama Academy is always available to provide. Soon we will have a press conference, all right? I believe DDM will also be there. Dama Academy will have a press conference on how people can access knowledge also. And then also, the beginners need to be very, very cautious. Security consciousness. You don't just rush into blockchain technology because you hear people talk about it. No. Look for a reliable education hub that will serve you, that will show you what you need to do, hold you by the hand, and lead you all the way through. So seek for knowledge. That is the first thing that every beginner should look out for. And I know that, yes, the space is laudable and wide enough, but seek authentic knowledge. Thank you very much.
So, all right. Mr. Paul Elumba has raised his hand. Mr. Paul Elumba, the mic is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you very much for having me. The area I want to comment on again is on the area of blockchain for health. Yeah, I love the mention of that blockchain for health, and then that mention of what is kind of AI blockchain. Yeah, because that is another powerful application of blockchain. And one thing I want to add there is that is the ability of one blockchain to make somebody rich. Because most of the things that we're talking about, most of the discussions boils down to money, you know. So blockchain, as cryptocurrency being one strong application of blockchain, actually has that ability to make somebody rich. It has been doing that. I remember Bitcoin, which is the first cryptocurrency when it came into picture in 2009. As at that time, it was selling for just a paltry 1 cent, less than 1 cent for 1 Bitcoin, which means that with just $1, which I remember that time in Nigeria, $1 was I think around 120 naira or thereabouts. So with 120 naira, one will acquire more than 100 Bitcoins with just 120 naira in 2009. And many of us are speaking today have that 120 naira, even have it in abundance. Yeah. I remember I lost $1,000 in Forex trade in 2009. By then, I never knew about Bitcoin. If I had known, maybe I would have bought Bitcoin with it. But I never knew about it as at that time. So with just 120 naira, you buy more than 100 Bitcoin. Now, fast forward to 16, 17 years later, this year, 1 Bitcoin is currently selling at $68,000. Now, look at that humongous return on investment for just 120 naira. 120 naira, just $1, giving you $68,000 times at least 100 millions of dollars. So now that particular token that you mentioned about Mr. Tochukwu, that one you mentioned, that body scan AI, is something like any person buying it right now is like somebody buying Bitcoin in 2009, because that body scan AI, when I checked, it was just launched 1 year ago. In fact, it is 13 months old as we speak, and the price is still very, 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 very low. It's just beginning. Currently, one is selling at $0.00028. So with that same 120 naira, $1, $1, $1 is currently at let me say 1,003 something. So with $1,500, one can acquire more than 1,000 body scan AI. Now imagine if you put like $5 or $10, the quantity it will get you. Now now what do you think might happen?
Mr. Lumba?
We have lost him.
All right, we have got little time left, but I want to ask a crucial question. Mr. Lumba, are you back to finish up what you are saying, please, briefly?
Okay, so in summary, there's going to be a rush for that body scan AI token to be able to use that app when it is fully launched and deployed. So what I'm trying to say is that any person that knows what Bitcoin did in 2009 should rush now and go and buy that body scan AI and hold in his wallet, because it's going to be a huge return on investment for one, people who have it, the way that Bitcoin returned on investment for people who invested in 2009. Thank you very much.
What a wonderful contribution from Mr. Paul Ilumba. Mr. Obaje, before we call it a day, let me ask this crucial question. Dama partnered with, should I say, had a crucial partnership with the Federal Capital Territory Administration in September last year. I want you to tell our audience what has been the progress so far. You know, I remember that they had the partnership, you know, with the intention of making Abuja the hub of blockchain and cryptocurrency. So what has been the progress so far?
Thank you, Mr. Tochukwu, for that line of thought. Yes, there is that partnership between Dama Academy and Department of Science, Technology and Innovation, DSTI, Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and it has been an awesome experience. As at last year, we were able to go around 6 different institutions where we trained their teachers on blockchain, digital assets, and artificial intelligence. And that has made impact. And the funniest thing is that a lot of people lack this knowledge. From what we saw in those the execution of those trainings, a lot of people lack knowledge. Even those whom you see that are highly placed in the educational sector, all right, they lack this knowledge, and we are unstoppable. In fact, we have series of engagements lined out in partnership with DSTI for the year 2026. We've started consulting ministries, departments, and agencies so that we can come and educate their staffs, all right, from the capital territory itself to other states of the country, so that people will begin to get knowledge as far as blockchain, digital assets, and artificial intelligence is concerned. In fact, the press conference that is coming up, if I'm not mistaken, on the 24th of February, will be conducted in Department of Science, Technology, and Innovation, because we are in partnership, because we want to get the as far as the so that's press conference, I think, will be streamed live also. So, and I believe DDM will also avail itself for that press conference. So we have a lot of media houses that will be coming for that press conference, just to see how we can dissipate this knowledge to Nigerians and the global space at large. But we're doing well with DSTI, and the journey has just begun. It's a collaboration that has a very large and wide lifespan. So we are still on it, and we are unstoppable. Thank you very much.
Mr. Moses Obaje, AI Prof, and Mrs. Shifra Poloma Mama, both instructors at Digital Access Management Academy based in Abuja. Nice to have spoken with you. Thank you for your contribution and time.
Thank you very much for having us tonight.
Right, that's it from me, Tochukwu Raphael Twasei, with Ibrahim Umawase, my co-host. If you love what we are doing, viewers, do not hesitate to hit the like button, make your comments, share our videos, and subscribe to DDM TV. Shall see you next time for a fresh topic next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.